This is a Thanksgiving song. I hope you enjoy it. Love to eat turkey. Love to eat turkey. I love you. Love to eat turkey, 'cause it's good. Love to eat turkey like a good boy should, 'cause it's turkey to eat. So good. That clapping's messing my head up, man. I appreciate it. But I was trying to think of the next line. I'm like, all I hear is clapping. Here we go. Thanks anyways. Turkey for me, turkey for you. Let's eat the turkey in my big brown shoe. Love to eat the turkey at the table. I once saw a movie with Betty Grable. Eat that turkey all night long. 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong. Turkey lurkey do and turkey lurkey dap. I eat that turkey, then I take a nap.
What's up, Scrubs? It's the Thanksgiving special podcast. It's Thanksgiving Day, and I've got a couple friends here, and we're going to go over our favorite things that have happened throughout the history in Scrubs, and just kind of go through what we're thankful for on this great Thanksgiving Day. We've got Jungle Cat and D Waters here, and I'll let Jungle Cat tell us what he's thankful for today, and we'll go from there.
Well, I am thankful for all the wonderful, beautiful human beings that are in my greatest Madden league ever, right here in Madden Scrubs. Pop.
And D Waters, what are you thankful for today?
I'm thankful that the original Keyshawn Catfish got fucking kicked because that guy was a dick and I hated him.
I'm thankful for Japanese cuddle anime pillows because we all know Billy still needs a friend. So with that being said, we're going to get this podcast started. We're going to go through some of our favorite moments in Scrubs and just kind of talk through the history. So maybe some of you new guys in the league can get to know some of the history for our little Madden league. So probably one of the first things that people talk about when they mention Scrubs is how our first draft got simmed. I'll never forget that moment. I was real excited because it seemed like a great league. I had recently become a commissioner in the league, and everything was going great. We had a full league, a good community of guys. Everybody's gearing up for the draft. Some of us, like me, had about 12 picks, I think, in that draft, with 5 of them being in the first and second round. So I was really excited. And then, lo and behold, we get online the day of the draft, and the draft has been simmed. And everybody's really confused. Nobody would fess up to it. Falcon Zane, as many of us know, he is a bit of a sleuth and was able to narrow it down to Killswitch, who eventually fessed up, I believe, to having some kind of ownership in it and claiming it was an accident. Not to jump ahead too far in this podcast, but as we all know, Killswitch's later actions probably makes you question if it was an accident or not. Now, I don't believe Jungle Cat or D Waters were here during this time, but I know you guys have heard about this, and were you surprised to learn that Killswitch had simmed our first draft?
Nope.
Well,
I mean, I think it was once I heard that, and we experienced. I think it was our last season of Madden 16. The whole free agent, the whole off season got simmed right up to the draft. So I don't think it was any of us normal guys, and Killswitch had decided to leave by then. But he had, well, I guess we can leave that for a couple more seasons. But no, not surprised. And I'm really, I can't. Just trying to think about how mad I would be if that had happened to our first draft this year. because I picked up my starting quarterback, my starting running back, and then some guys drafted some guys way early. So I just can't imagine what would happen if that happened this year.
It was an interesting moment in the league because it created kind of a situation where we lost. I'd say we probably lost about 6 members over it. Most guys decided to stick around. There was a lot of conversation about, deleting the league and just starting a whole new draft league. Ultimately, we decided that we would lose more members in the process of doing that, which I think was a good call. And then some guys were nice enough to help out the guys that had like top 5 picks that everybody knew who they were going to take. And guys that ended up with those players, they were nice enough, for a future first and a second to trade that player to the team that it was going to originally go to, or maybe swap some other players for them. And that ultimately, I mean, that's kind of the spirit of Scrubs. I think most of us, when something bad does happen, we try to make the best of it. Ultimately, I mean, it's not always perfect. I don't think any Madden league is, and every Madden league is going to have some sort of drama at some point in time, but one thing I will say about this league is it's pretty resilient. Even though there are some members that may get under other people's skin or whatever, it's still a good group of guys, and we persevered and made it through that first season. So that was really about the only drama that I can recall from that first season. And then we get into the second season. The first season, Slanted won the Super Bowl, who isn't in the league anymore. Some of you guys probably know him just because he's been in Madden League for a while and kind of hovers around various leagues we're all in. The second season, I believe Jungle Cat, that's when you jumped in, right?
Yeah. Greatest season of all time.
So why don't you tell us a little bit what you remember about that season?
Well, we're going to have to backpedal a bit because what got me into that was me whooping Zan's ass in a hub game. They do like 6 or 7 picks to me. Never going to let him down to that. And then he sent me a message about 5 seconds after the game, like, hey, we have a couple, open teams in Scrubs if you want to join. I'm like, all right. So get the Panthers. Team's absolutely trash. Figured. Ended up trading away. First move I did was trade away like Desmond Trufant to get Amari Cooper. Hindsight, probably not the best then. And then it just went on from there, making some big moves, building this team up. And then the very first game I get to play in Scrubs, wouldn't you know, it was against Zan. I think it was like 26-24. Made me feel really good about myself, and then just went all downhill from there.
So, yeah, the second season I don't think had too much drama. I think mostly everybody was just trying to persevere through that after that sim draft. And I believe Retro won that Super Bowl as first of 2 in Madden Scrubs. So then we moved on to the third season. Now, you've heard us mention the name Warlord or AO2 Warlord. He was a longtime scrubber who often talked and discussed his high school football career, which none of us really questioned him about for the most part. We were just like, oh, cool, dude, that's great that you're good at high school football, whatever. And then he started talking about how certain colleges were recruiting him, and like UGA, and then like somebody mentioned another college. Oh, yeah, they were recruiting me too, which seemed a little fishy, but, whatever. But then his personality got bigger and bigger and bigger. And Jungle Cat, why don't you tell us what ended up happening that third season?
He was just like, yeah, I'm going to Baylor. And good friend Joxie was just like, oh, Jox goes to Baylor, went to Baylor, one of the two. And he turned out to be a fat white kid, whatever it was, not playing football. Actually, I heard from an outside source that he was actually the captain of his school's Quidditch team.
Well, I don't know about that, but what actually...
Let's keep it a little realistic.
Yeah, from what we could tell, I think he did play football on his high school team, but he certainly wasn't the person, or he didn't, from what we could tell, he didn't seem to be the person that he purported to be. And I remember Zan had actually gone back and looked at the screenshot he had taken of his profile from his football team, and he had all these good stats or whatever. So, of course, Zane went back and typed in the entire URL from the screenshot, and then lo and behold, a different name pops up. Same stats, different name. So a little Photoshop had been done. And so then somebody, I don't remember who, it may have been Broncos, typed in the actual person's name into chat. And if I remember correctly, Warlord just
That was the roster dump.
He roster dumped.
yeah, and he roster dumped. He sure did. So he was our first catfish, first of several. And then I don't think anybody really heard from him again too much. I know he had a YouTube channel for a minute, and but we didn't really hear from him too much. And that
I have a YouTube channel.
You do? What's on your
Yeah.
YouTube channel, Jungle Cat?
I didn't want to know.
No, we're already going balls deep into this. So about 4 years ago, I posted a video of a blacked out screen. And it was my band at the time doing a really terrible band practice. Checked it out, youtube.com/zcanda1000.
Well, I'll be sure
I'm not
to
gonna check that out.
yeah, I'll be sure to bookmark that for later.
All right.
And then so yeah, let's see, that third season, Retro I think got his second Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty much it for season 3. Going into season 4. Now, is that when you jumped in, D Waters, or was that season 5?
I think I jumped in on season 5 because I think season 4 was the old 4 and 2 season.
All right, so season 4, Jocks and Squish had the legendary 4-2 game, which they both almost got booted.
Yeah, Jocks, I'm happy he's here. Squish, yeah. I heard he's a hot blonde though, so.
Maybe the North would be a little competitive if Jocks wasn't in there.
Yeah, damn Jocks.
So we had the 4-2 game. I think Bucks won that Super Bowl. And then that was really it for that season. And then season 5 was when we all got to know Keyshawn, who claimed he was a computer enthusiast in his 20s, I believe, allegedly. He would post people's
Said at
information.
26, I think.
Yeah, he would post people's information in chat, which made everybody a little uncomfortable. And then it kind of came to a boiling point when one of the members, I think, saw his Facebook page, right, and then determined that he was a lot younger and was in high school or something, and confronted him about it, and he kind of wigged out. And he didn't roster dump, did he? He just got booted.
Yeah,
He didn't have a
just got
chance.
booted.
So I can speak to this. I think people might have got like a little sick of Keyshawn, not a current Keyshawn Karzergi guy like you, but I think it might have been the same season. I'm mixing up the timelines a little bit because this was supposed to be a drunk history. But I remember I joined at the end of a season. Like I didn't even have a chance to play. We were already in the off season, and people were already scared or sick of Keyshawn. And so he was obviously talking about grabbing people's IPs, and he knows all these people's usernames. And I was like, what? It's not how the internet works. So then I figured out that that people were using like their personal email addresses on Slack, and then for whatever reason, he wasn't a commissioner, but he was an admin on the Daddy Leagues. So that's where he got the IPs, and then by Googling usernames, he could find out pretty much enough to scare some people about it. I know Billy was a little scared how he found out his YouTube channel, which is his own business, and I mean it's not hard to find these kind of things. I mean, pretty much anyone can if you have an internet connection and a username, but it's another thing to be a huge douche about it, and he was. And I think I told Zan, and Jox had found the same things I did. I think Jox actually found it previously, so I'm not sure if Zan maybe didn't trust what Jox found by himself or something like that. But once I came in and was like, hey, he's this fucking kid on Facebook, here's the evidence. And I was like, you got to either pick between this kid or me, because I'm not going to sit here and let some fucking 18-year-old trash talk the entire channel and make bullshit up. And that's when Keyshawn got kicked. And I think it was Broncos that made us a nice Photoshop of a catfish on Keyshawn guitar playing. Maybe it was Kill Switch, I can't remember. That was pretty funny.
Thinking
Yeah,
of the bad
Broncos
controllers
loves
there.
he loves he loves pulling the trigger on those kind of moments in chat for sure.
You guys want to talk about creepy shit this guy did? This guy found what town I lived in, and then he started naming places that I lived near. And that's not even the creepiest. And he kept on calling me Kitty. I'm like,
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
that was pretty weird.
I'm 20 years old, and you're calling me Kitty? Like, what?
Yeah,
Oh.
you know, it's all it takes. I mean, for people that are not maybe technologically savvy.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, some of us went to college for this kind of thing. Jungle Cat is all I mean.
Sorry. Yeah.
So we have a little bit more insight. So it's the same thing. Jocks and I came to the same conclusion, totally separate, and we had talked about it with Zan at that, and Zan brought it up that it was weird that we both came to the same exact conclusion separately. So I mean, all you need is an IP address to get your town. That's all you need. And then if you get a username, that helps narrow it down even more. And so I don't think people realize the not even necessarily the dangers of the internet, but just what's possible on the internet. So I think people might need to be a little more careful. I think we've taken steps as Slack admins. We've disabled email addresses, kind of thing. If only admins could see that. But yeah, I think the internet's not really a nice place, guys. So be a little more careful unless you're on podcast.
Well, I've seen Mr. Robot, so I mean, I'm pretty much like a master of tech.
Just hack everything.
It's porn on the internet, guys. Be careful.
But I will say that was a pretty disappointing moment for me. I mean, I think big personalities to a certain extent are good for Madden leagues, for chat and things like that.
D-Waters.
But you know, there's a line that you can cross, and if you're starting to make people feel uncomfortable, then you have to go. And unfortunately, that was kind of the point that he got to. You know, I hope wherever that kid is that he's all right and things work out for him. But he wasn't. It just, this league wasn't the right league for him. At the end of the SWA was formed in season 5.
Trash.
I had joined previous to this season, so I came in at why the playoffs were going the season before this one.
Okay. And D-Waters, how did you end up getting into Scrubs?
I got invited to Scrubs by the old 49ers Keyshawn Catfish, actually. Which is kind of funny, considering I was one of the main reasons he got kicked out.
It's a little ironic. How did was that from Reddit or was it from another league?
No, it was a Reddit. Scrubs was my first. Actually, Scrubs was my first Xbox CFM.
That's right, because you're a PS4 Madden player, right? Prior to that.
Yeah, I had played PS4, I think, from Madden 25. So I had made the switch to actually play Destiny with a couple of my other friends who have now quit. So I'm kind of same boat there. But, you know, I always kind of like the Xbox controller more. But anyway, so I came in. So there we can talk about that's a good segue, how I came into the league. I had come in, I took over the 0-16 San Diego Chargers, and I had received the second pick in the draft. And that was because of Jocks going the old tank route, which is now not allowed because of that. So I had to take over a garbage 0-16 team in Retro's division. And didn't even get the first pick of the draft because Jocks tanked away. But yeah, that's how my Scrubs saga started.
That's right. I can remember trying to hustle you pretty hard for some of your players and picks, and you were having none of it on that first season.
Yeah, I mean, not to say I wasn't looking to trade things away. Actually, I think you traded me Larry Webster, who became a little infamous around Scrubs for my user. But other than that team was hot trash.
Yeah, that was a tough team to take over, but it paid off in the end because once we got to Madden 17, you were able to kind of build your own team and are in a good position now heading into the playoffs. And I guess the last thing for season 5 was that Kill Switch simmed free agency in the off
Yeah,
season.
which I mean, as much as it sucks to say, it really helped me out.
Oh, fuck you.
I had a garbage team with a lot of cap space. I put in bids as soon as we advanced to the off season. So once he sims all the way through that, I picked up some good players. And I will say I wasn't a commish there at that point, so it wasn't me, but I did really benefit from that.
I do have to say that royally pissed me off because I had 80, 90 million in cap room for that offseason. And there was there was a lot of like big name free agents, like specifically Alshon Jeffrey, who I was going to target and just throw all my money on. And then I get on like an hour later and we're in draft. I'm like, oh yeah,
Oh,
I did
forgot
manage
about
to
that.
I did manage to steal Zan's star corner though and use them against him and made his life hell for those 2 years. But other than that, I was pissed
Yeah,
because then now
I think current cards. I think he had the Cardinals.
Yeah, he did.
And he gave Alshon Jeffrey like 143 million 7-year contract, expecting to like scare people away, and then right before we advanced final time to bring it down. But he got stuck with that contract. It was the funniest thing. Actually, it might have been Fitzgerald. I can't remember. But I just remember cards getting fucked by that. It was hilarious.
Well,
I think Zan lost like 9 starters.
all to me.
yeah, I mean, and the other important thing about that too is that was the last free agency of Madden 16.
Yep.
That was it. I needed to fill several roster spots in that free agency, didn't get to. So yeah, then it was a big controversy of what happened, who actually did it. Nobody would own up to it. And then we'll fast forward a little bit. The Clownfish, aka Killswitch, was on Reddit I believe he was trying to start a new league, and then some people had posted some things on there, going back and forth with him because we all believed he was the one that did this. And lo and behold, he sends somebody a donation for the league, admitting that he was the one who actually simmed the league. So
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah, so that's a little bit. That's kind of the last domino of one of the last dominoes for the catfishing. I guess the Marty stuff happened in season 6, right?
Marty didn't even make it to Madden 17.
Yeah, we had two
He was
issues.
in the way over.
We had 2 particular issues in the last season, M16, and one of them is near and dear to my heart. The other one is Marty, and I just don't know what happened to him. I feel bad about that, but we can go into that if we segue into season 6.
Yeah, man. Why don't you tell us what happened?
So I think we had a particular user take over Canada's team, I believe, which was a very highly rated team. So he basically got gifted the playoffs in the second to last season, and then decided he couldn't make the playoffs in the second to last season. And so I started ragging on him because he talked some shit in chat, which is fine. I respect that if you can handle it. So I said he dodged the playoffs, and then we start up on the off season gets simmed, and we're now into the next season. And I think he missed 1 or 2 big games that season, just by chance. People are inactive, I guess, if you miss every good player you play against. And then so we started using the verb of Jeep. You Jeep a player, and Billy graced us with a couple emotes, and then our good friend this year, Bucks, Mr. Cheese, came out with a whole podcast coming at this guy, and he didn't really take kindly to that. And going through the rest of the season, he actually decided to leave Slack the last couple of weeks and the playoffs. And then I believe his second time in the playoffs, he again wasn't available, and it was going to be a straight sim, and that's when we decided to remove that particular character from the league.
Yeah, and what was disappointing about all of that was that he was really one of the favorites heading into the playoffs, and he would talk to kind of at other players, and then when people would do it back to him, he folded quick to the point where, like you said, he just quit Slack, which you can't be in a CFM league and not be in whatever chat app they're using. So, I think essentially it was like a suicide by cop. He knew by doing that we'd have to boot him, and then he could try to be the good guy. But he's in other leagues that current members are in, and I've been told that he speaks very fondly of Scrubs, and by that I mean he constantly talks shit about Scrubs. So, may peace be
He
with him.
loves
But
the league.
I think Scrubs isn't gonna be any worse without him. So.
Nah, we'll be okay.
No, I mean I have nothing against someone that's going to come into the league and talk some major shit, because I'm sure some of the I guess older members now remember that that's exactly how I came into the league. I came in, I talked a lot of shit, just trying to make it happen, to have some fun, and then unfortunately my team was a lot worse than I thought it would be. So it took me a season to make the playoffs, even with an 0-16 team. But I mean, there's something to be said for someone who can talk some shit and then take it back. You can't just come into this chat and start talking shit to everyone, and then as soon as they talk shit back, go curl up in the bar and then cry to the commissioners. No, if you're gonna talk some shit, you gotta be able to take it.
Was pretty much all from that season, and then the season 6, I think. So was the Marty drama? Was that in season 6 or was that in Madden 17? Or did it start in 6 and carry over?
It started in 16 for sure.
Okay. So I will say that our current Bucks user won Super Bowls in season 4, 5, and was it 4, 5, and 6, and then our first season of Madden 17?
No, 5, 6, and 17.
5, 6, and 17. Let's see. So I wonder who. Oh, that's right. Canada won Super Bowl 4, so that would have put him in there. So that's who the Super Bowl history. So season 6, the wiki stuff happened. He got in trouble for taunting excessively in a game, and then Marty ended up booting him from the league without doing a commissioner vote. And then so we had to kind of remove Marty from being a commissioner, but he was allowed to stay in the league. And then I guess he started his own league. I wasn't in that. Jungle Cat, were you in that league?
I was his co-commissioner along with Jocks in that league. That was a joyful experience.
So why don't you tell us what happened in that league?
Well, the league got started and created about 5 times, I think, because Marty couldn't figure out how to start the season in the preseason and turn off the pre-existing injuries. You started regular season about 4 times, and this is after us all, telling him how to do it. Finally gets in, and then just instantly starts like trade raping people, just not even asking for approval, just running ahead, doing trades, and then which ultimately led the league to, getting shut down. And lo and behold, Marty is like, I'm going to be leaving for a little bit, and he hands his league over to our little friend, Crown of Thorns. Now, Crown is a particular truck driver who just happens to have the same name as our good friend Marty. So, a little suspicious, Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember that was a topic of conversation, that league going on. So that led to us having to really talk to Marty and tell him, look, you're not going to really ever be a commissioner in this league. And that led to him basically quitting the league from that. So he quit the league, and then we got this new guy that came in the league with the Slack handle of Crown. And we noticed that he had some of the same traits, I guess you would say, as Marty. For
Sort
better
of
or
had the same schedule.
yeah, for better or worse. And so all of us started to kind of DM him, asking different questions. And what kind of broke it, Average, who is currently on a sabbatical from the league as he gets ready to head to London, he noticed that this Crown guy had a new gamer tag on XBomb and also a new Reddit handle, which, anybody who's been a commissioner or really in any of these leagues know that's kind of like a red flag. Why do you have both of those? So we all kept pestering him, and then he said, well, I'm a truck driver, I work nights, which most of us remembered that Marty had that same schedule. And then he ended up giving us what he called his old Reddit name, which for whatever reason, he gave us his actual Reddit name. So when you put that into Google, up pops Marty picture. So we posted that,
Yeah.
He kind of panicked, and that was the end of Marty.
That was it. I mean, it was tough. I guess for all of us commissioners, because we had talked about a little bit on a previous podcast last weekend with Wiki, why he got kicked and his reaction to getting kicked and the aftermath of that. But we all liked Marty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was the old co-host of the podcast. He was really invested in Scrubs, and it was a shame to see the way that things went. And Marty, if for some reason you're listening to this, we all hope for the best for you, man. And I hope everything's going well. We certainly miss the old Marty being in the league, but just from a league standpoint, we just can't have people in the league like that, unfortunately.
It was tough because we had fully planned. I mean, I know I did. I'm sure everyone else did plan on bringing him back as a commissioner. And then everything happened with Madden Melee, I guess it was called. I don't remember. And
never say that name.
And then we were just like, shit. Marty, I don't really think you're fit to be a commissioner. You didn't really run that league well, to say the least. But when we told him we would like him to stay in the league, and he tried to choose not to, and then come back. So it really put us into a tough place. And we had to make the decision just to move on from him. So like ATL said, I hope he's doing a lot better now. I hope he secretly is a good member in maybe a league or two. But it was just what we had to do.
But the whole Marty situation, that was especially hard for me because I had a big relationship with him like previously to us both joining Scrubs because we both joined Hub at like I think the same exact time actually, and from there we just became good friends because a little known fact, his name was M4 Arters or whatever it was, Martyrs, but I was the first one to start calling him Marty. You can go back into the Hub chat and find it. I started that, and he was my first best friend before Billy came into my life, and it was really hard on me to see him just spiral down like that,
Oh my God. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess for some of you newer guys, you keep hearing us mention Hub. Well, Hub was actually the birthplace of this league. The guys that originally created Scrubs were all Hub members. And the majority of the original Scrub members all were in Hub. So when you hear us mention Hub, it was kind of the birthplace, the baby mama of Scrubs. Now, slowly over time, a lot of those guys were filtered out or left. Essentially what happened, Zane and I kind of took over the commissioner roles in Scrubs with Broncos, as Broncos was an original commissioner. and helped kind of shape over time to have the league that we have today with other great commissioners that came on along the way. But that's kind of where Scrubs transitioned from. Hub was a traditional Madden league and still exists today. And then, of course, Scrubs is a draft league. So it's supposed to kind of be the sister league of Hub, but now there's not really much affiliation with that league at all.
Not really. I think me and A-Walk are the only two Scrub members that were left in Hub, and I left it like about 2 weeks ago. And I put my commissioner spot aside to leave, so.
Yeah, I would say that actually X-Bomb has more interaction with Hub.
Yeah. But I'd just like to say real quick, before we move on from, season 6, 7 that we're on now, I'd just like to shine some light on the greatest injustice that happened in the final season of Madden.
Yes, me losing to you.
Well, no, but that's a fair But yours truly was in the prime position to make his first ever playoffs. All right? We had a little skid when we lost to Connors week 16, but we're not going to talk about that, though. We were 9-7, 10-6, 9-7. People sucked that year. Don't question it. 9-7, prime position. And all we needed is for our best friend, Mr. Cheese Goals. Cheese Goals? Cheese Goals? What the fuck his name was, Matt. We just needed him to beat Billy. All right? Vegas odds had that game he was favored like 97 point favored, whatever. This is when, then again, I will say though, Billy did have, a great year too. He had he was 8-1 at one point. No, I think that was a little bit much. 6-1. And then he kind of skidded a little bit, which, gave me that wild card position. And lo and behold, you can say all what you want, Mr. Cheagles. You were too drunk, whatever. He ended up losing the game pretty badly. I can see the collusion from miles away. I was pretty pissed about that. I didn't make the playoffs. Billy got in, got wrecked in the wild card. Sorry, Billy, but it happened.
You're not sorry.
And I like to believe, since he faced Cardinals first week in the wild card, and I never lost the Cardinals in Madden 16. You can go back to the record books and look at it. I was undefeated against Cardinals in Madden 16, and if I had that wild card spot, I would have moved on to get, raped by the Eagles the next week. But it's the greatest injustice we have here. People, too drunk, air quotes, throwing games to Billy to screw me over on my one and only playoff shot. But that basically wrapped up the final season of Madden 16.
I mean, I have to say, I don't think that was an entirely legit drunk game he lost. It could be impossible for us commissioners to prove either way, but my gut tells me there might have been some slight collusion.
Yeah, gun to my head, I'm saying he definitely did that on purpose. Not for any strategical reason, but just to spurn Jungle Cat to not be able to make the playoffs.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I don't think it mattered either way to him if Jungle Cat or Billy got in. But I do think he might have not cared as much about that game, and I think Jungle Cat really took that one hard.
That was probably the best defense I've ever had in a Madden season, period. And I was so, waiting to actually get in. Because I was playing everyone that year, no matter who it was. I was playing everyone for a one-score game or whatnot.
You beat
me. I beat you. And I beat Zan for my one and only time in Scrubs that year, too. And I was prime position.
Might have had a BAC of probably close to 3. But
we don't. Yeah, I still beat you anyway. It doesn't matter.
That still counts. That's all that shows up in the record book is you beating me.
Yeah, I was on quite the hot streak, ready to run the momentum to the Super Bowl, and I hit the roadblock of a nice good.
And then I guess current Bucks, then Eagles went on to win his second Super Bowl in season 6, which was the final season of Madden 16. So just to let you guys know, we didn't start Scrubs at the beginning of Madden 16. It was more probably in the halfway point,
Madden
I would
16,
say.
huh?
Yeah, Madden 16. And we were able
Madden
to
16.
get 6 seasons out of it. So we're hoping that in Madden 17, I don't know, what do you guys think? 10 seasons, 10 to 12?
So I think we can hit 15 maybe seasons,
Wow, that'd be
and
crazy to see
which will yeah.
the evolution of teams into 15 seasons.
Yeah, because I mean, I drafted my team and I've built my team so far to be good for 6 maybe seasons. But after that, it's gonna get real interesting. I think maybe the guys who got auto drafted and haven't been too good so far this Madden will have their higher draft picks really step up and be able to maybe be more contenders later in Madden. So it'll be interesting to see.
I think current Giants user is set up the best for success long term in the season or in the league. Something that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm hoping that it comes into fruition. I mean, it may not. You never know how things work out, but right now the talk is that we're all a lot of us are going to go to Vegas at the end of Madden 17. Joan Cat, will you be 21 by July?
No.
Well, you need to
I will
figure
not.
that out and be 21 by then.
I can get a fake ID.
So that'll work.
You can just push it back a month and make sure it's after the 9th of August, and we're good.
Okay. Well, when do we usually start, Madden? I don't know. That might be past the.
I don't think we started till late August this year.
Yeah,
It
so
was
maybe,
in September when we started Madden this year because we
Yeah,
didn't
so-
have a patch for it.
well, that's true.
That's drama right there. The
That's
Madden patch.
Yeah, that was
Oh.
horrible. And then of course
Well, I
not
will
having
say-
daddy leagues either.
Yeah. Although I
man.
will say I was surprised I'm the only one who brought up myself joining, because when I joined, I kind of brought a decent amount of drama just because of how much I like to talk shit. And I mean, and that especially on nights like this, where we're supposed to have a drunk history, it's just the filter kind of goes. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, I think I managed to play well enough to earn some respect the last couple seasons, but I definitely wasn't owed any when I first joined and started talking shit.
My favorite D Waters quote when he first joined was, "I will never lose to somebody who only uses D line." I was like, All right, we'll see about that, buddy.
Oh, God damn it!
I'm not gonna lie, D Waters. When you first joined this league, you were very close to making my infamous, Madden players hate list.
He's gonna make the list.
There was a turning point somewhere where I looked, I was talking to myself like, this Mr. Dave Waters guy, he isn't that bad. And now look where we are. I think we're good friends. I mean, you probably won't give me an earful after this podcast is over, but.
Oh.
Well,
you gotta flirt the line a little bit, but then you gotta be willing to take that shit talk back. I mean, you can't Jeep it.
Well, I told D Waters early on, and I don't know, he may or may not remember this, but I was like, look, dude, if you can just tone down the aggressiveness a little bit,
Yeah, for sure.
I honestly see you being a commissioner in the near future. And he was like, okay.
And
That's
I
some
was
more
like,
drama.
and then I was like, Zan, you fucking see what this guy said to me? Tone down this shit. But yeah, I mean that's exactly how it pretty much rolled out. Tone it down a little bit. I mean, I still love to talk my shit. And then I'm still obviously the last podcast last weekend. A certain someone got specifically called me out in his own segment. But I mean, you gotta take it all in stride. If you're gonna talk shit, you gotta be willing to take it back. So I think that helped me not be kicked swiftly.
Well, and I think the majority of the people we have now, even when people do get mad at each other or whatever, at the end of the day, we all like each other enough just to kind of let it be water under the bridge. Everybody has their moments for sure. I know there's
Never.
a certain Canadian member who tends to get under people's skin a little bit from time to time. But
I'm starting to really question his nationality because Canadians supposed to be sorry and whatnot. This guy, seems like he has a gasket under him or something. Because say someone that will ruffle his jimmies, and you're gonna hear for about, I don't know, a good 15, 20 minutes.
I would probably disagree with that from my experience.
Yeah.
You'll leave that for a commissioner chat here in Scrubs, our Jungle Cat. But
Oh.
I wouldn't totally agree with what you're saying there, because he kind of folds if someone pushes back.
Well, somebody
yeah,
told me that he was 5'2", which doesn't have anything to do with any of this, but I really want to know. Like, I am incredibly desperate to know if he's 5'2".
I honestly don't know. I think he brought it up. I thought he was joking, but I honestly don't really know.
I'm 5'11". I can send you a picture of myself and then compare it to him. Yeah.
So,
nice,
we are getting kind of close to wrapping this up. I did want to ask you guys, moving forward in Madden Scrubs, is there a particular direction you guys would like to see the league go? Is there any more like, kind of like the Vegas thing, any more events or things you'd like to see happen, or anything, not necessarily you would change moving forward, but more so what you maybe some things you would want to add moving forward to the league?
Well, so you see, it's 2016, for the people that may be listening to this podcast from like a year or two from now. The one thing
That's bold.
one thing I really want to see is, why don't we take this Madden League to virtual reality? Just imagine what that would be like. Right? You're playing all these trips and everything. Like, it can probably happen. Sony's having a virtual reality thing come out. Probably Xbox will have one soon. So why not? Virtual reality Madden Scrubs, Madden 18, coming to a home near you.
I don't know how much I can do to help that. Do you have anything on that?
How am I supposed to follow that up? I would say probably I really don't know if I would change anything with Scrubs. I mean, I'm not a big fan of like the leagues that get the EA support or whatever and get spammed on the Twitch channels and shit like that. I'm really not a fan of that. I don't think it really brings anything good. Because those guys can't even get details about this fucking app that's supposed to be goddamn released already. So I think I really like where Scrubs is at. We don't really have huge problem filling slots. I'd just like to keep the status quo. And really keep most of, I think, all of our members. Now we have a new guy, but I would like to keep, I think everyone right now is really a solid member. Not everyone's active in chat, but you can't expect perfection. So I really like where Scrubs is at right now.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you've got 32 strangers in a Madden league, it's hard to expect everybody to be active in chat. We certainly have a great core. I would challenge our core members against any other league in Madden. The only thing I would probably like to add to the league moving forward would just be more or any Scrubs meetups. It doesn't necessarily have to be in Vegas or whatever, but I mean, some guys are regionally closer, and I know like Zane and I have the benefit of being in or near Atlanta, so our flights for us are super cheap. He's already taken advantage of that, and he's gotten to visit Squish, Jocks, and Patty. I think it adds a little bit more to the league when guys can get together in real life and
yeah, I agree with that.
And kind of experience it from that side. Because I mean, well, yes, this is just a video game, and it's funny. You'll see new people come into a league from time to time and do something stupid and say, hey, this is just a game. Well, yeah, it is just a game, but, I mean, we spend more time in Slack talking to each other than probably we do talking to anybody else in our day-to-day life. So, it becomes a little more than that, and that's what makes the league so much fun.
This is real life, damn it.
I think Scrubs is headed in a great place. Hopefully we don't have any crazy drama in the future, and we just continue.
Need to get one Super Bowl ring and then I'm out. I mean, I hope this league continues for years to come.
I hope the next Scrubs meetup is somewhere that's close to me, because traveling out of New York is a complete bitch.
Well,
I don't really like traveling that much, so.
Yeah.
And for you to go to Vegas is going to be a real
it's in the thousands.
Yeah.
We might have to
out of Albany. and it's not a direct flight.
We might have to
So-
put you on a bus, Jungle Cat.
You can just come down to where I'm at. I can stick you in my carry-on. It'll be fine.
I mean, I could probably sneak. I mean, A-Walker's in Boston. I could probably run over there and get in his carry-on or something. I'd assume it's a little cheaper to fly out of Boston.
Well, hopefully we can make all that work, and I don't know. I just hope that we can plan some events like that, so where we can have some real scrub parties. Because God knows I'm getting old enough. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do stuff like that.
Jungle Cat's 21st birthday party.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill you, Jungle Cat. I don't know if I can be there for that.
Crystal and do it all. All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps up our Thanksgiving special for the Madden Scrubs podcast, and we dove into the history a little bit of Scrubs and did a inebriated version the best we could. I want to thank Jungle Cat and D Waters coming on, and we were planning on having about 12 people on tonight, but they all found better things to do. But I hope you're enjoying this. It's Thanksgiving Day, and I hope you all have fun and eat too much turkey and have sweet dreams of John Madden and Treduncan.
Later, Scrubs.
Respect your elders and respect your Jungle Cat.
Baking pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancakes. Bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make.